Alright, let us resume our ridiculous quest in the hunt for this weapons thief and see what Ellie has in store for us today. The business of betrothal. Ah, there you are. I've been doing some investigating of my own since we last parted. I believe I've found our Lapis Maiden. The girl's name is Arabella, daughter of one Master Guguremo, a prominent member of the East Aldenard Trading Company. Her eyes and hair are a most exceptional shade of blue. Her beauty is the talk of the Sultanate. Her purported beauty, I should say. You see, none have actually seen the girl in the flesh. Apparently her father is the overprotective sort. Some say that the maiden has never set foot outside of the family's well-guarded estate. Then where are these rumors coming from? Is this dad just talking about how hot his daughter is? Because that's a little weird. But all this is about to change. Rumor has it that the girl is to be wed. And not just to anyone, mind you. To the heir to the Brugier Consortium. The formal announcement is set to be made at a commemorative feast to be jointly hosted by the two family businesses. The venue is Costa del Sol, where preparations are going on as we speak. Word on the street is that the bride-to-be will be making a rare public appearance. It is here that the thief intends to strike. I couldn't be more certain of it. Piqued your interest, have I? My sources tell me that the bride's father is already in Costa del Sol, overseeing the preparations. This is one scoop I'm not going to miss, and you're welcome to come along. I was momentarily like, why is she inviting us? But then I'm like, I guess we did, like, get into a crazy fight with Gilgamesh last time. And if another fight pops off, she probably wants us around. There's a shiny bird. Wait, hold on. So it's his daughter? Is the maiden in question a Lalafell? This is Master Guguremo of the East Aldenard Trading Company and father of the bride. Let's see what he can tell us.
You're not one of my associates. This banquet is for invited guests only. If you have no business here, be on your way at once.
Beg pardon, good sir. My name is Ellie, reporter for the Mithril Eye. I might have just a moment of...
Ah, yes, that two-gill sensationalist rag. I read your tiresome screed about the self-styled phantom thief in his letter of challenge. If you've come to tell me my daughter is in danger, I can assure you that your concern is entirely unwarranted. I have not kept my Arabella safe to this day to see her whisked away from me by some fly-by-night rogue. I have spared no expense in securing the best protection that money can buy.
That's shady.
The brass blades of the Gerbera, an elite unit of the most lethal swordsmen in the Sultanate. They say one of them once caused a man's heart to burst just by looking at him askance. The moment they set eyes on the would-be thief will be his last.
If the thief is obliging enough to allow himself to be seen. Or do those goggles serve some purpose other than making the wearer look utterly ridiculous?
Consulting Inspector Briarden. Your reputation precedes you. And what, pray tell, would you propose? I've promised some of the wealthiest men in the realm that my daughter will be attending the festivities. To renege on my word would have dire implications for the family trade.
My proposal is a simple one. Entrust the investigation to me. The thief will be in shackles before the banquet commences, and it will cost you not a whit of your precious gift.
Very well. Let us see if your reputation is deserved. But consider yourself warned. Greater fortunes than you will ever know hinge upon this banquet. I will not tolerate any disturbances.
I'm not sure if that's necessarily true. He is a noble of Ishgard. Such touching concern for his coin purse. If only he could muster the same for his daughter. Oh, he was not far when you said that. But do tell, Inspector, after he slipped under our noses the last time, what makes you so confident that you can catch our thief this time around? Our man may boast 1,000 faces, but he has but a single modus operandi, and it is painfully obvious. A letter of challenge, a precious treasure whisked away from its rightful owner in the broad light of day. This tells me that our thief is an attention seeker, with supreme confidence in his abilities. Doubtless he means to target the maiden using the same methods he used to abscond with the treaty blade. Is that Nashu in the background? Even now, the fiend is in our midst, having assumed the identity of someone who will be in close proximity to Miss Arabella at the feast. I have already narrowed the field. Arabella's betrothed, Vaughn, would be an obvious target for our thief. So too would be his father, Morgaunt. Yalto Nolto and his wife Sinana, the guests of honor, will give a toast to the couple's happiness. Both will be standing close to the stage where the bride-to-be is set to appear. Needless to say, we cannot rule out Guguremu himself. Finally, we have Lowenhart, a steward of Goguremu's estate, and Miss Arabella's personal attendant. All the key players, save for the Lapis Maiden herself, have assembled in Costa del Sol. Doubtless the phantom thief lurks among them, his face concealed, gathering information and planning his course of attack. We will begin our questioning of the suspects immediately. Should you encounter any suspicious individuals, you are report back to me at once. Hildibrand Manderville. I could smell the stench of idiocy and incompetence from a mulm away. The pleasure is all mine, contriving Inspector Briarden. Forgive me for not revealing myself sooner. I was simply conducting a bit of preliminary undercover investigative work. Yet to see through my ingenious disguise with such ease, yes, I dare say your powers of observation rival even my own. Fear not, friends. I, Hildibrand, Agent of Enquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, have arrived to defend the maiden's honor as only a Manderville man can. He does realize there's still a fish on his head, doesn't he? Good Inspector, I realize we may have not seen eye to monocle in the past, but a fair maiden's virtue, mayhap her very life, is at stake. From one gentleman to another, let us put aside our differences. Yes, I would welcome your assistance in this case. Me? Assist you? Aren't you a funny man? Oh, it makes no matter. My plan is so flawless that not even your bungling can interfere this time. If you wish to assist me, you may do so by keeping watch over the suspects. In the meantime, I have a promising lead to investigate. I shall return before the banquet begins. While I know this may be asking much, do try not to do anything too stupid in my absence, will you? I would speak with you, but not here. I will be waiting for you outside Costa del Sol. Come quickly, for we do not have the luxury of time. It is not by fate's whimsy that we have been reunited here today, friend. You were destined to be by my side as I apprehended the fiend and defend the fair maiden's virtue. Inspector Briarden seems to have taken a liking to you. You should be proud. As you can see by his treatment of someone we know, the man doesn't suffer fools lightly. Nothing to say from Nashu? Alright. Consulting Inspector, how can I help you? You've come. Excellent. With that buffoon suitably distracted, we can get to more important matters. But before we proceed, what might I call you? Oh, I never give my name. I'm sorry. I'm Ny'ardbert Tia, sir. An unremarkable name, but it will suffice. Now answer me this, Ny'ardbert. You were there when the phantom thief in the guise of Lady Dorilda stole off with the treaty blade. Was there anything about our foe's disguise that struck you as particularly noteworthy? I mean, she outed herself mannerism-wise almost immediately, but the appearance was identical. The obvious answer, and yet all too many, a certain self-styled gentleman comes to mind, could not recognize a clue if it hit them upside the face. Your observation is astute. A thorough inspection of the mask left behind at the scene revealed a tiny prism sewn into the fabric. It is this stone that allows him to change appearances at will. Clearly, our man is no ordinary thief. Magics far outside the grasp of the common folk are at his disposal. This, in itself, gives us insight into his identity and his ways. And yet, this is not what caught my eye. No, from movements to mannerisms, that utterly obnoxious personality, the thief did not merely look like Lady Dorilda, he was her. Such a feat could not be accomplished by magical trickery alone. We are dealing with a clever and thorough criminal. Not content to rely on his ample powers of disguise, he studies his target closely before assuming their identities. He emulates them utterly and completely, that not even their closest friends or family could detect what that aught is amiss. All the key players arrived at Costa del Sol 3 days ago, when preparations for the banquet began. This would afford our thief more than enough time to study his would-be target. And yet, some disguises are more challenging than others. Put yourself in the mind of our phantom, Ny'ardbert. If you were the thief, whose identity would you first assume? Breastplate. It's the least well-known person around. So there's lowest risk of taking over that identity. Precisely. Clearly you are far less useless than the bumbling inspector whose company you keep. Strong in number, few of words, able to come and go as they please, a fearsome reputation to scare away any who would draw near enough to realize something was amiss. An ideal entry into Costa del Sol for our man. Deducing as much, I made a point to question brass blades in the area. Little to my surprise, I learned that there was one man who had not been seen at his favorite alehouse for 3 days past. Our thief has not made a habit of wanton murder. Doubtless the poor man is lying naked in a ditch not far from here. In addition to general security duties, each of the blades has been assigned to serve as a bodyguard for one or more of the guests. If the man can tell us his assigned charge, like as not his answer will reveal the current identity of our thief. Our thief would not have had time to carry the unconscious man far. I will canvass the immediate area. You begin your search on the outskirts of Costa del Sol. Did you say it was 3 days? I feel like I can get pretty far in 3 days. Sincerely, I guess I never touched this part of the hunting log, but I don't walk by things with a little target on their head. Oh, this is one of the big ones. A handful of fates are very much designed to only be approached at with a larger group, and this is one of them. Probably, of those, one of the easier ones to brute force, but if I remember correctly, there's like an achievement for doing it. Oh, brass blade of Ny'ardbert. Excellent. You are one of the less incompetent assistants I have worked with. Thank the gods. Please free me from these chains before the snippers eat me alive. There. Now, tell me all that you can remember about what happened to you, and do try to be brief. We just arrived in Costa del Sol, had a briefing of sorts. Master Gugaremo gave us each our orders, who would be looking after and the like. Had a mind to tour the area, get my bearings. Next thing I knew, I felt a thwack in the back of my head. When I came to, here I was, stripped of my skivvies. Much to the chagrin of those of us who have to look at you. Wow, Briarden. You say you've received orders from Master Gugaremo. Who was to be your charge? My memory's hazy, but one was Morgaunt, father of the groom. The other was a Lolathon gent from Limsa. Yolto Nolto. Now, try your best to remember. Were there any other guests with whom you were ordered to interact? Come to think of it, yes. There was also the steward, Lewinhart. I was to review with him the schedule of events, discussing the protection of key supplies, that sort of thing. Morgaunt, Yolto Nolto, and Lewinhart. Thank you. For an incompetent fool, your testimony has proved astonishingly enlightening. I shall see this man back to the city and into the possession of some new clothes, after which I shall return to Costa del Sol to continue the investigation. Go on ahead of me, and for the love of gods, just make sure that imbecile doesn't cause us too much trouble in my absence. If this were a slightly different game, I would turn around and Costa del Sol would be on fire. But no, his incompetence will have to be at least somewhat subtler than burning down the entire place. Alright, same text. Hildibrand. Oh, there you are, friend. And not a moment too soon. I was about to commence my investigation in earnest. Tell me, did your and Inspector Briarden's avenue of inquiry bear fruit? Yes. I guess I'm telling him everything. Fun. Oh, we're supporting those three over there, actually. Ah, they're gonna run off, aren't they? Morgaunt, Yolto Nolto, and the steward Lewinhart, you say? This does not surprise me. Yes, I'd consider them all exceptionally suspicious from the start. With the Lapis Maiden in danger, we cannot afford a moment's delay. I, Hildibrand, shall have our thief in shackles before the inspector returns. Fear not, friend, the inspector shall be none the wiser. If he had hoped to nab the fiend himself, he should not have simplified the task for me so. Ah, there's one of our suspects standing suspiciously under the canopy over there. Just you wait, fiend, I shall rip the mask from your face and reveal you for the rogue that you are. Okay. Over here is Lewinhart and Yolto Nolto. Renting out Master Gugarejou's private property would be almost unthinkable for most folks. But Gil talks, and neither the Brugere Consortium nor the East Aldenard Trading Company are in any danger of running their coffers dry. Good food, good drink, and good tidings. That today's announcement will send even more gil flowing into our coffers only makes the wine taste all the sweeter. Oh, how am I looking forward to meeting Miss Arabella. They say many a song is sung of her beauty. Mind you, there was a song or two sung of me in my day. And there is Morgaunt. I am Vaughn, heir to the chairmanship of the Brugere Consortium. And who exactly were you again? I'm sorry, I just realized I don't particularly care. All I have done to raise Arabella to a beautiful young woman has been in anticipation of this day. I have never been more proud to call myself her father. A lucky father of the groom-to-be, or the fiend who would sully the maiden's virtue. In a matter of moments, all shall be revealed.
Hildibrand's about to grab his face, isn't he?
Stand back, friend. The man we pursue is a criminal mastermind. The merest slip of the tongue could put our case, nay, our very lives, in danger. But have no fear. Miss Ellie, ready your quill that you might record my every word. I employ the time-honored art of parley, handed down from Mandeville men of ages past to reveal our foe.
I can think of few topics that would interest my readers less than your blatherings. Just catch that thief so I could have my story, would you?
Don't worry, Inspector. I brought my quill and journal too. Your adoring fans won't miss a word.
Capital! This is why you are my favorite assistant, Nashu. Now behold as I ensnare our prey with a web of words, leading to his inevitable demise. Good morning, Master Gugaremu, and a fine morning it must be, for you most of all. Allow me to offer my most heartfelt congratulations on your betrothal to the enchanting Miss Arabella.
Hildibrand, that's your father. What is this nonsense? Arabella is my daughter. You... Just who in the seven hells are you, anyway? Guards! Guards!
Now hold your chocobos, Gugaremu. I recognize this lad. This is Hildibrand, agent of enquiry and inspector extraordinaire. Come to save the lovely lass from the clutches of the phantom thief, have you? I reckon we owe the man our gratitude, Ivan.
The phantom thief? Balderdash and rot, if you ask me. That said, my betrothed must be quite the beauty indeed to have such rumors told about her. Perhaps she's worthy of me after all.
He exudes an unusual degree of confidence for such an effect. Fashion-challenged youth. Most suspicious.
He's a damn sight easier on the eyes than you.
That's me, Van. Ever calm in the face of danger. Truly is father's son.
A worthy heir to the Brugiere Consortium, and a worthy match for my daughter, I must say. Yes, I foresee many years of prosperity for our families. Or family, I should say. Which reminds me, Master Van, Arabella asked me to convey her gratitude to you for the golden clasp you sent some months ago. It has not left her neck since the day.
Oh, that little trinket? 'Twas nothing. Tell your daughter the greatest treasures in the realm will be hers once we are wed.
The time-honored Mandeville art of parley? You'd be sleeping with the fishes now had Morgant not spoken up on your behalf. That said, nothing about the interactions between the three struck me as particularly unnatural.
Let us not rush to conclusions, Miss Ellie. A gentleman fancies a more methodical approach. Yes, everything is proceeding according to my master plan.
Whoops. I was supposed to be taking this down, wasn't it? Everything is proceeding according to my master plan.
I sought only to earn the trust of the families before confronting Yalto Nalto and Lowenhart, who have aroused my suspicion from the start. Come, we have a thief to apprehend.
That's the same. But what does Morgant have to say? Juan is my own flesh and blood, heir to the Brugiere Consortium. Barely needs saying that he'd settle for no less than the most storied beauty the realm over. Here we go.
Yalto, Nalto, and Lowenhart. One of the two wears a mask, but which? With a few words, all will be revealed.
I've not seen your faces round here. With the East Aldenard Trading Company, are you?
Why, yes, good sir, very much with them. Some might even say we are the East Aldenard Trading Company.
Oh, pleasure to meet ye. Do tell, is the Lapis Maiden as lovely as they say? Sainana here's no slouch herself, but like me, she's getting on in years. No offense intended, my dear.
What did you intend?
Oh, but where are we, manners? Yalto Nalto, of the Brugere Consortium, and this is me wife Sainana. I look forward to many profitable dealings with you and yours in the moons and years to come. I dare say this wedding and the joining together of our family businesses couldn't be happening at a better time, what with all manner of fell beasts and beastmen taking aim at our wares. Why, just the other day, a shipment of imported foodstuffs was waylaid by the mandragoras. Nasty buggers, the lot of them. If I were 20 years younger, I'd dice them up myself and make a salad out of... You have heard of mandragoras, haven't you?
But of course. I once spent a year honing body and mind with the Fist of Ralgar. My fellow monks and I would chant several hundred mantra-watsits a day.
And your food stores were occasionally raided by the ruthless band of rogue vegetables known as the Mandragoras, yes? Would it kill you to read the Mithrai and educate yourself from time to time?
A fearsome lot they are. Rumor has it they'll not rest until every fruit or vegetable harvested for consumption has been freed from captivity. Why, they struck at the larder here just days ago. Our supplies were decimated. Fear not, milady. I was able to arrange for an emergency shipment to replace the stolen produce. It arrived safely some time ago.
Settle down, Sainana. Forgive me, wife. She's always saying how meat is bad for her figure. And with that, I'd best go prepare me speech. Carry on, lads.
I wonder if Sainana is the one that is the shapeshifter. Because she's, like, around one of the people that was being tracked, but, like, able to take a back seat so no one really notices.
Criminy. None of those three were suspicious in the least. But we must not give up hope, lest he of many faces have the last laugh. Where there is will, a gentleman shall find a way. Come, Nashu, we must move quickly, or the Lapis Maiden shall not be the only one to come to harm.
You speak so fast, Inspector. The sign of a quick mind, I'm sure. Now, where was I? Give up hope. He of many faces will laugh last. The Lapis Maiden shall not be the only one to come to harm. I'm not sure that captures the Inspector's intended meaning. But this is no time for us to be standing around. Inspector Briarden will be back any moment now, and he's not the type to suffer excuses.
Quite so, Miss Ellie. Fortunately, I have a plan. Let us investigate the foodstuffs of which Master Lewinhart spoke. Should we find any contradictions in his testimony, we can consider the man a prime suspect. Inspector Briarden will be back before long. Come, Nashu, this is no time to delay.
Some of these coconuts don't look like coconuts. Look at this. Now there's water. Now there isn't. Now there's water.
These crates must contain the foodstuffs of which Master Lewinhart spoke. At a glance, they do not appear particularly suspicious, but our investigation must not be deterred. Crates of assorted foodstuff and a veritable host of luscious-looking coconuts. It appears that our man Lewinhart spoke true? Ye gads! Are those explosives I spy concealed among these coconuts? Perhaps I spoke in haste. It would appear that we have found our phantom thief after all.
Oh, those are mine, Inspector. I was looking for a place to set them down, you see, and those coconuts were looking awfully lonely.
Nashu, far be it from me to cast doubt on your choice of hobbies, but what in the name of the 12 would possess you to bring your creations to an investigation? Oh, no. Wrong button.
Uh, well, they were so helpful in jogging your memory that one time, and I just thought, does this mean you won't be needing this piece of driftwood either?
Your enthusiasm is always admirable, Nashu, but in this event I fear is somewhat misdirected. Now set the driftwood down over there and concentrate on taking notes, like the astute assistant you are. I say, we are most fortunate that confounding Inspector Briarden is otherwise occupied at the moment. Were he to chance upon this scene, he would veritably explode in rage. Now, let us dispose of these things before an errant ember sends us all to a fiery demise.
Confounding Inspector Briarden. Explode. A fiery demise. Got it. Are you sure about that?
Uh-oh. Don't look now, but someone has returned at the absolute worst possible time. You two are supposed to be keeping an eye on the suspects and staying out of trouble, yes? The inspector will have a fit if he sees you here.
But, Miss Ellie, should Inspector Briarden come upon these explosives, the consequences will be even more dire.
Ny'ardbert and I will see that the inspector keeps a wide berth of this beach. You two just get out of here, and be quick about it.
Quick thinking, Miss Ellie. Come, Nashu, we shall return for your creations once Inspector Briarden has been led safely from the scene. Investigation calls us, and we must heed its cry.
All we have to do is lure him away from these crates. Shouldn't be too difficult, right?
That'll go well, I guess. So Hildibrand has managed thus far not to destroy anything. Consider me something almost resembling impressed.
Indeed. But enough about Hildibrand. Ny'ardbert and I have been waiting to hear your latest theories. We should go somewhere quiet and...
An excellent idea, Miss Ellie. Ah, yes. That spot just over there by the crates should suffice.
There of all places. But surely we could find somewhere more scenic.
I am not here on vacation. I'm here to solve a case. Besides, we cannot afford to have our conversation overheard. That junk-littered beach should afford us some welcome privacy.
Yes, Inspector. Privacy indeed. Bloody hells. Don't worry, Ny'ardbert. I'll figure out some way to lead him clear of the bombs. Why are you covering for Hildibrand? Just let him get angry. I think the tide is rising. We should really move to higher ground. Is it just me, or is there a bit of chill in the air? Perhaps we should go someplace warm?
I, for one, welcome a respite from the sweltering heat. Besides, this will not take long.
If you insist, Inspector.
Through the questioning of a brass blade attacked by our quarry, I've identified the three individuals most likely to be our thief in disguise. To wit, Morgaunt, Yalto Nalto, and Lowenhart. The three of us shall split up, with each of us keeping watch over... Are the two of you listening?
Of course we are. Beg pardon, Inspector.
You look unwell, Miss Ellie. Perhaps you are right. I too feel a chill wind blowing in. Mayhap we should continue our conversation elsewhere. Ah, but there is no need. Wait here, I shall build us a fire. Methinks the inspector has taken leave of his senses. The chance of locating suitable kindling on these barren shores is infinitesimal. Here we are. This piece of driftwood should serve perfectly, and as fortune would have it, I just happen to have a flintstone on my person. There is no cause for alarm. 'Tis not blood that courses through the inspector's veins, but ice. I cannot fathom a series of events that would lead such a calm and composed individual to lose his firm grip on that fiery torch.
Remarkable insight, Inspector. I must record these words for posterity. Whee! It's flying!
What have we here? Everything is proceeding according to my master plan. Could this be another challenge from the fiend?
Surely you jest, Inspector. It looks nothing like his usual cards, see? Doubtless it's just the idle ravings of some madman.
Perhaps so, but we must exercise due caution. Ah, there are 2 more pages. Give up hope. He of many faces will laugh last. It is not the Lapis Maiden alone that shall come to harm. It is more direct than his previous challenges, but there can be no doubt as to the sender. But what is this talk of another victim? The final page holds the answer, no doubt.
The final page?
Yup. Confounding Inspector Briarden will meet a fiery demise. Ah! You saw through the fiend's ruse. But how?
Let's just call it reporter's intuition? Are you hurt?
A ringing in my ears, but otherwise no worse for the wear. You have my gratitude. Hildibrand Manderville, were you able to learn aught of the fiend who made this ignoble attempt on my life? I exhausted every effort, Inspector, yet our fear our quarry proves ever elusive. Excellent. Might have died of shock if you had. At any rate, our foe has revealed himself as no mere thief, but a madman who will resort to cold-blooded murder. We must redouble our vigilance, lest the others come to harm. Vigilance! Yes, vigilance is the order of the day.
And what in the name of the gods? Thal's teeth! Those vegetables cost a fortune, and they're ruined! Ruined! Agent of enquiry, more like agent of injury and incompetence. You are to replace the supplies that you've destroyed before the banquet begins, or I'll see the entire lot of you rot in jail. Is that a fish? I'm getting hungry.
What? Oh, that's a mount. Okay. Thanks to our quick thinking, the bombs are no more, and the inspector's none the wiser. It is a shame to see good food go to waste, though. Those coconuts looked positively luscious. Clearly, our thief has decided that my prodigious intellect presents the greatest threat to his schemes. Perhaps he is a more clever man than I thought.
I would ask how he survived an explosion at point-blank range, but something tells me that's one more mystery better left unsolved. Yeah, I'm beginning to think he's something akin to a demigod. Because, like, he routinely does the impossible, but is otherwise entirely incompetent. Anyway, let me go talk to Ny'ardbert and see how we can get these replaced. Ny'ardbert, I got bad news, buddy.
What was that terrible explosion coming from the beach? Is everyone safe? Fear not, the fiend's artless attempt on my life has been thwarted. Sadly, your food supply did not escape unscathed. Master Guguremu bids that the damaged ingredients be replaced with all speed. Good gods! This is no thief, this is a madman. As for replacing the ingredients, I fear that will prove a difficult task. Those crates contained imported vegetables of considerable rarity, you see. Vegetables that are in particularly short supply these days with the mandragoras at large. Even if I were to place the order immediately, it would likely take days to arrive. The mandragoras? I've heard of that fell band. Tell me, what manner of vegetables did they steal? The rarest was an import from the Far East. I do not recall the name, but it very closely resembled the Eorzean dragon pepper, save for its color, which was a deep purple. Methinks you just worry too much, Master Ny'ardbert. Our course of action is clear. We need only storm into the den of these overgrown weeds and steal your precious purple dragon peppers right back.
I would advise against that, Inspector. These are no ordinary mandragoras, but rather a bloodthirsty band of killers given succulent flesh. Even the brass blades of the Jabera proved unable to resist them.
Oh, a formidable foe indeed. Were only there a brave soul in our midst with a want of taking on fearsome enemies, with not a shred of concern for his own well-being.
How is that me?
Your eyes, friend, they speak to me. They say I, yes I, shall vanquish these rogue vegetables and deliver the purloined goods back to their rightful owner. You're truly a godsend, adventurer. One Sundamal of the Yellow Jackets has been charged with defending the roads from the Mandragoras. If anyone would have knowledge of their current whereabouts, it would be him. Without these ingredients, Master Gugaremo is as like to cook me instead. Please, friend, you're my only hope. A gentleman would never let his comrade face danger alone. Let us away to Limsa together.
Okay. Yeah. Such a local story. I was not expecting to travel. Oh, hey there, Hildibrand.
If you've come for the Mandragoras, I fear you're half a bell too late, as were we, blast it all. To hear the poor merchant tell it, no sooner had he opened his cargo to check on a shipment of vegetables than did an onion turn on him, screeching bloody murder. Flooded his own vessel in sheer terror, he did. By the time he came to his senses, it had set sail without him. The merchant left for Ailport, hoping to recoup his losses. If you have mind to go after the culprit, you might lend an ear to his sad tale. Ah, is the thrill of the chase not invigorating, friend? The ferry docked by Fisherman's Bottom will carry us to Ailport. Let us be swiftly on our way.
Please ignore the little Steam notifications. I haven't moved them. I'm sure there's a way to disable them, but I'm not really sure what it is. But apparently Doso really wants the world to know that he's playing Wallpaper Engine, whatever that is. Oh, no, not Costa del Sol. No. Going to Ailport. Tiny trader. Oh my god, that's the third notification. Dosa, what the fuck is going on?
Hey, don't sneak up on me like that. I thought you were a feral turnip, a murderous eggplant, or something like that. Think I jest, do ye? You'd be singing a different tune if a shot of tomato juice almost took out your eye. As it did mine. My eye! By the time I'd regained my wits, they'd already set sail with me ship and me livelihood. I'm ruined. Ruined! If I never see another bleeding onion till the end of my days, it'll be too soon. Okay.
What? I have no recollection of this.
To hear most say it, the Mandragoras are a nasty lot. A great pain in the arse to farmers and provisioners the realm over. But let me tell you, friend, that ain't the least of it. Freeing their fellow fronds from our larders and tables is but the beginning. The bulbous blackguards of a far grander scheme. Revolution. Madness, you say? Take a ferry to the Isles of Umbra and see with your own eyes. A veritable vegetable kingdom, where eggplants and turnips rule with an iron fist. This muscle-bound fellow with a dim expression. I could swear I've seen his face somewhere before. Bugger me! If it ain't the undead overlord who fancies himself a gentleman inspector. Which would make you... Aye, could it be? The adventurer who bested the thief and duelist in single combat. Are you the one who bested the duelist? Yes. Oh, bugger me and call me inspector. Tell me, is it true the duelist traveled with a demon bird whose crow could split the heavens? He pursued one. That's neither here nor there. Look, I don't know about you, but I ain't so keen on the notion of calling a bloody tomato, your grace. And that's exactly the fate we're in for if we don't nip this revolution in the bud. And I mean that literally. As we speak, the Mandragoras are planting themselves a whole army of their own kind in the Isles of Umbra. You'd be doing the whole realm a favor if you could go there and uproot them before the harvest comes.
Many a case have I solved in my day, but I've not matched wits with sentient plant life before. This should prove quite exhilarating. To the Isles of Umbra!
I don't know about you, but I ain't so keen on... Oh, that's already said. Okay, one sec. I'm going to see if I could get this thing to stop pinging me. There we are. Hopefully that should stop those.
Okay. Skipper, take us to the Isles of Umbra. Alright. Oh, it's a wiggling little plant. No idea how to pronounce that. You feel a hostile gaze upon you. Okay. That's the middle of a fate. Oh, I think I'll hide a flow, but they won't bother me. Okay. I'm sorry I don't speak Wingding. I feel a hostile gaze upon you. Time for a fight. There's some music notes in there. Is it a good sound? A bad sound? Feel a hostile gaze upon you. Reclaim the stolen foodstuffs from the Mandragora. Okay. Hildibrand? What are you doing? I don't see anything here. Get up, Hildy.
Friend, my pursuit of the Mandragoras has led me beneath the surface. Yes, they must be down here. Somewhere.
Commence the Mandragoras. Yes? Oh, it's a fate! Cool. Sensing weakness in the realm following the calamity, 5 rogue vegetables, well, technically 4 and a fruit, have risen up to rid the land of all meat, including you. Cool off the Mandragoras before their verdant resurgence gives steam. I'll be calling Kaiba. Oh, where are you going? I really just running around. Oh? Okay, you're vulnerable. That's good to know. This is everything where I need to get them all down at the same time. Oh boy, I got a lot of things on me. Alright. We just gotta stick it out. How are we going? Okay. Tanjagora's plucked. Or slammed doors too. You right down there, Hildy?
Impeccably fought, my friend. I only wish I had seen the battle with my own eyes. I go head on to Costa del Sol. I shall be along as soon as I extricate myself.
Seeds of rebellion. Right, man. Wait. Oh, nope, they're gone. Never mind. Looked for a moment that they were like riding their chocobo side saddle, and I'm like, is that an option? Can you do that?
What took you so long, friend? The Isles of Umbra are but a short sprint away. I trust you have brought along the goods that we so bravely reclaimed.
I'm sorry, did you say sprint? It's across an ocean. Like, not a large ocean, but... Alright.
You return. I feared you might end up a tasty snack for a crazed head of cabbage.
Almost did. Foodstuffs pilfered from the stores in Costa del Sol.
The stolen foodstuffs. You've saved my hide today. Oh, but I must see if those purple dragon peppers are intact. Master Gugaremo is quite particular about his seasonings.
Oh, can I come too? I've never seen a purple dragon pepper before.
That wild vegetable chase was a pleasant diversion, but it's time we return to the case. Now, there must be some clue that yet eludes us.
Cor, the peppers have changed color.
What's this? Peppers that possess the same powers of disguise as our many-faced foe. A gentleman must needs investigate.
They're blue?
A striking shade of blue, quite far from the purple that Master Lewenhard described. Perhaps we recovered the wrong crate.
But look here, Inspector. The crate is clearly marked for Costa del Sol. How curious.
Did I say purple? I meant a purplish blue or a bluish purple. The two colors are really quite similar when you think about it. Those peppers have a most distinctive hue. No man could reasonably mistake it for any shade of purple. Unless, of course, he was wearing a very particular sort of eyewear at the time. Ha! The charade is up! After that man! It is as I suspected all along. The goggles have proved the key to cracking the case. With speed, Nashu, the fiend must be brought to justice.
And so begins a trend of not using our abilities while in cutscenes. Because throwing out our home gang real quick would have chained him down. Is that the real Lowen Hut?
You can run, but you cannot... Ha ha ha! If you thought you could outsprint this Manderville man, you were out sorely mistaken.
I don't think this is the one, so you should probably keep running.
For pilfering a priceless braid, threatening a maiden's virtue, and untold crimes against the law-abiding citizens of Eorzea, I, Hildibrand, Agent of Enquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, hereby place you under arrest.
Done in by a snipper. A
A fitting end for an ignoble thief. Let us see what lies behind the mask. Where am I? Who are you? Ha! Playing the fool will avail you not. I suggest you come willingly. A gentleman is not given to violence, but should you attempt to resist, I disavow responsibility for any shattered skulls and broken bones. Wait, I remember now. I was on my way to meet with Miss Arabella when... Miss Arabella! I must find her at once. Ugh, my head. It would seem that this man wears no mask. This is the true Ny'ardbert. I swear on my life that it is so. I was en route to the estate in Wineport when one of the brass blades on which Roll approached me. We exchanged greetings, and the next instant he turned on me. I fought desperately to defend myself, even managing to drive a kitchen knife into the man's right hand. In the end, though, he proved too strong for me.
Now that you mention it, the impostor was wearing gloves. I knew there was something suspicious about him.
Ellie looking over, also wearing gloves. Like, what? Briarden too! There is still time before the banquet begins. Knowing our quarry, he has doubtless assumed a new identity. And yet he could not have foreseen this turn of events. It is unlikely that he had the time to thoroughly research his new target. Most importantly, we know that the thief suffered a wound to his right hand. We need simply return to Costa del Sol and examine the hands of all present. An excellent plan, Inspector. While you do, we shall accompany Ny'ardbert back to the estate, that we might ensure Miss Arabella's safety. The magic auras.
I have found you, my little ones. Let me guess you seethe with anger at those that took from you what was yours.
Oh, it's not quite Ny'ardbert. I should not be using that voice. But whatever, I'll stick with it.
Then it would appear our goals are in accord. Make for Costa del Sol and await my orders. When the time is right, revenge will be yours. The game is afoot, inspectors. Now, what mask shall I wear to the ball? Oh, we get to meet Arabella. That's fun. To Wineport.
Ignore Alize. I'm definitely not putting off doing her quests. That is distinctly not a Lalafell. Is she adopted?
Do I dream? But I must, for such beauty could not be of this world. A gentleman's heart swoons.
She's very pretty, but not, like, otherworldly, I don't think. But maybe that's just me having shit taste.
Miss Arabella, what are you doing out here? You must return to the estate at once.
Oh, Lewin, always the worrier. Your concern is touching, but I'm a woman grown. Besides, I just wanted to see the flowers.
Lovely though these flowers may be, they are as unsightly weeds when measured against your beauty. I am Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire. Please, call me Hildy.
The pleasure is mine, my lord. Much have I heard of your deeds. Tell me, are these rumors of a many-faced thief true?
I fear they are, Miss Arabella, but still your gentle heart, for as long as Hildibrand is on the case, the fiend shall not lay a twisted finger upon you. This I swear on the Manderville name.
The gods smile on me indeed to send such a strong and handsome gentleman as my champion. And yet... You seem pensive, milady. Is something the matter? To tell the truth, this marriage has been arranged against my wishes. I do not love Fawn. Why, I have not even met him. He sent me this clasp as a betrothal gift. A treasure for my treasure, wear it always, the message said. I do not care how beautiful it is. It might as well be a golden shekel.
Miss Arabella, you must not say such things. An arranged marriage to a youth you have not even met? Unconscionable.
Father says that this marriage must happen. It's for the future of the family trade.
Spoken like a true Uldan, but if I may be bold, milady, would I be correct in assuming that you and your father are not related by blood?
What was your first clue?
Quite so. Father found me amongst the beggars on Pearl Lane when I was just a babe. He took me in and raised me as his own. He took Lewin in as well, though as a servant rather than a son. You may think Father a cold and miserly man, but to me he's the man who gave me warmth and hope when I had none. I will learn to love Fawn, if that will make Father happy.
You cannot be serious, Miss Arabella. You are a beautiful young woman, with your whole life ahead of you. Surely you would not have to look far to find a gentleman with whom you would rather spend the rest of your days.
If I have to spend another hour with you, I'm like to lose my wits. But anyway, we should return to Costa del Sol and see how the inspector's investigation fares.
I as well must prepare for the banquet. Farewell, friends.
So most of the things that we've heard this Phantom Thief stealing have been, like, objects of note, high-value things, things that could go in a collection and just disappear without a question. Taking a person doesn't really fit that MO. Maybe they do. That would be kind of wild, but I feel like we're missing something.
I must return to the estate to prepare for the banquet. Till we meet again, friend.
Case of indecency. With a maiden's virtue hanging in the balance, Hildibrand would hasten back to Costa del Sol.
We've not a moment to lose, friend. The time of our final confrontation with the fiend is nigh. Our foe has doubtless assumed a new identity, but have no fear. Upon our return to Costa del Sol, I shall employ the time-tested Manderville art of parley to cut through the fiend's flimsy facade. 'Tis an art that I would impart to you as well, friend, though there will be time enough for that once our foe is in shackles and Miss Arabella is safe. No doubt it shall prove as invaluable in your adventures as it has in my investigations, or failing that, serve to entertain you when you have nothing better to do. But I digress. A gentleman must away to Costa del Sol. The fair maiden's life hangs in the balance. Nashu, Miss Ellie, with me!
Alright. And away we go. Sorry, Jose. We'll deal with your thing later. Definitely not scared of it.
That fellow under the table looks terribly suspicious.
Under the table? Oh. Hello? What is your deal? Are we not going to talk about that?
Inspector Briarden, I have seen to the maiden's safety. Miss Arabella will be along soon. How fares your investigation? I have canvassed the grounds, but none of the guests are concealing their hands. How can this be? This thief must be somewhere.
Miss Arabella just left her estate, I hear. I suppose we'll find out soon enough if her beauty is truly a match for our own.
There's no time. Without the thief in custody, we cannot risk allowing Miss Arabella to take the stage.
But Inspector, Vaughn and his family will not take kindly to his betrothed's absence.
That is nothing of my concern. Besides, doubtless the inspector here will think of something. Me? What do you propose? You're the expert at creating diversions. Can't you just knock something over, blow something up, or the like? You know, like you always do. Inspector Briarden, I knew the day would come that you recognized my many talents. Worry not about Master Vaughn. Yes, for the sake of the maiden, a gentleman will do what must needs be done. The poor sop lacks even the wits to know when he's being insulted. Now, to the task at hand. We must find a way to conceal Miss Arabella's true identity.
Not far from here are the servants' quarters. There should be a change of clothes lying about.
Perfect. Ny'ardbert, find some suitably ordinary garb and deliver it to Miss Arabella outside the gates. I shall proceed with the investigation.
Same thing there.
Leave the betrothed and his family to me, my friend. Master Vaughn will not suspect for a moment that aught is amiss.
Are we really not going to talk about the creepy dude under the table? Okay. That's Nashu's inspector gear. More or less.
Has the Lapis Maiden arrived yet? I simply must look upon her beauty for myself.
Servant's garb, you say? I much prefer what you're wearing, but we certainly have enough rags to go around. Here you go. Do with them as you will. I should probably ask what's up. That's some text. Here, Arabella, change your clothes in the middle of the road. That's a thing we could ask a noble to do.
Greetings, friend. Oh, what's this you have for me?
Servant's garb. Sewn in a competent fashion by a reasonably talented tailor using materials of a satisfactory quality, these garments have been kept in acceptable shape and more than likely commanded an average to fair price at market. Servant's garb? But why?
Miss Arabella, with the thief still at large, the risk of letting you be seen is too great. Change into those clothes and promise that you will not leave my sight.
But the ceremony. Father would be furious, and Lord Vaughn.
We are dealing with a man who tried to blast me to the heavens, and almost succeeded. We cannot exercise enough caution. As for the ceremony, I have entrusted the matter to a certain gentleman. You need only concern yourself with your own safety. We should do as the inspector says, Miss Arabella. Your life is more important than this marriage, or whatever profits your father stands to gain from it.
Lewin, if father heard you say such things...
I should have said them long ago. By not doing so, I have put your life in danger. But besides, we have not one, but 2 skilled inspectors on the case. It will not be long until the fiend is brought to justice.
Very well, I shall retreat to the carriage. Pray wait for me here. My apologies for the delay. What should I do with my banquet dress, Inspector?
Ny'ardbert, bring Miss Arabella's dress to that bumbling inspector. I dare not to speculate as to how he intends to see to his task, but I would imagine he requires all the help he can get. Now, let us return before the festivities begin.
Thank you. I would promise to bring it back intact, but I can't do that. So I'm about to hand it to Hildibrand. Still there.
You will not elude me this time, fiend. Ah, you return. Me, I was in the act of formulating a master plan to distract Master Vaughn at the ceremony. Is there aught I might do for you?
Have a breathtaking dress, an expertly tailored dress, certain to make eyes bulge and hearts stop.
Why, this is Miss Arabella's dress. I must admit to some confusion as to what to do with it, but worry not. I shall take it into safekeeping. And with that I must attend to Master Vaughn before the ceremony begins. Worry not, friend. I assure you that Inspector Briarden and I have the situation entirely under control. Why not find yourself a seat and enjoy the festivities?
Same text. So interestingly, only Gugaremo and the servant who we're working with actually knows what she looks like. So someone could pretend to be here fairly effectively. He'd never agree to it, but Briarden in a dress would probably pass.
Curses. How am I supposed to find my man with all these people milling about?
Friends, family, business associates, 'tis an honor and a pleasure to welcome one and all to Costa del Sol for today's feast, co-hosted by the Brugere Consortium and the East Aldenard Trading Company.
We trust that you've been enjoying fine food, fine spirits, and profitable conversation.
The Lapis Maiden. Even half the tales of her beauty are true. Vaughn is the luckiest bastard in the realm.
Yalto Nalto, Sainana, honored guests. It is a great pleasure to announce the betrothal of my son, Vaughn, future chair of the Brugere Consortium, to Arabella, daughter of Master Gugaremo of the East Aldenard Trading Company. The couple would exchange their eternal vows ere today, that the happiness that is theirs may usher in a new era of prosperity for one and all. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present my son's lovely bride, the Lapis Maiden, whose beauty minstrels will sing of for ages to come. Damn you, Hildibrand Manderville, you had one job!
She's beautiful.
The rabble expecting otherwise. She is my bride, after all.
My lady, They say your beauty transcends even the boundaries of time. When we are wed, you will want for nothing. Pray give your hand unto me.
My sun and stars, yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. I am yours and shall be forevermore.
What have you done with my bride, you cross-dressing deviant? Not quite what I had intended, but I suppose it serves our purposes. Fear not, ladies and gentlemen, for Miss Arabella is safe and sound. I, Hildibrand, agent of enquiry and inspector extraordinaire, have but assumed the maiden's appearance to ensnare the vile fiend who would take aim at her life. The fiend who now lies defenselessly before me. The game is up, Vaughn, or shall I call you by another name, the Thief of Many Faces? Me? The thief? Are you mad? It appears that my masterful deductions have proved beyond the grasp of your mind. Very well, allow me to elucidate. While there is not a soul in the realm who has not heard the tales of Miss Arabella's beauty, there are but 2 men here in Costa del Sol who had gazed upon her lovely visage before today. Her father, Gugaremu, and her steward, Lowenhart. As you yourself admitted on multiple occasions, Master Vaughn, you were to have your first glimpse of your bride-to-be today. Considered in this light, would you not say your reaction upon seeing my face was most unnatural? Who else could see through my ingenious disguise? Who could know at a glance that I was not the fair maiden? None save you, ye of 1,000 faces.
And anyone else with half their wits about them.
How dare you make a mockery of my wedding day? Guards, arrest that pervert at once! Lock him up in jail and throw away the key!
Arabella? Oh, thank the gods you're safe. Come with me quickly, there's a dangerous madman about.
A glove on his right hand. Could it be? He was actually right, he just got his deduction wrong. The man is a fool, but it would have behooved you to listen to him. Alas, you did not, and what is yours is now mine.
That's the thief! Stop wasting your time with that imbecile and arrest him!
You came all this way? For me? You love me. You really, really love me. The attention is most flattering, but I've taken what I came for, and now I must away. My lords, my ladies, till we meet again.
I hear that the real Vaughn was bound and gagged in a storage room. Truly, Miss Arabella, I am sorry. For what, my lady? The banquet was more exciting than I ever could have hoped for. Vaughn and his father were furious, of course, and our marriage has been called off. But perhaps it is for the best. I would find my own way to make father happy, by living my life as I would live it. It is you, Inspector Hildibrand, who taught me this lesson.
For the love of God, someone find him a change of clothes.
But one thing still puzzles me. The thief's challenge said he would steal the Lapis Maiden's virtue, and in the end he took only her neckpiece.
Now that you mention it, Master Guguremu told me about the clasp when it first arrived. Engraved with the mark of the sun goddess, it is one of the most treasured pieces from the Brugiere collection, known by many as Azema's virtue.
Oh, and is Azema a maiden goddess?
A maiden's virtue. Indeed. When the next challenge comes, we must take extra care to read between the lines.
Well, that's dead. Oh, boy. Over here, Inspector. It says, made you look.
The fiend plays us for fools. Give that to me at once. When next we meet, I shall come to claim the victor's spoils. Another riddle. If nothing else, it appears the thief has abandoned any foolish notions of my assassination. Still, we must ever be on guard. The fiend attempted murder once. He may very well do so again. Verily, Inspector, I must agree. One can never be too wary when dealing with a murderer. Hear me, man of 1,000 faces. You sealed your fate when you called me out by name. Mark my words. When next we meet, you will be mine. Yes, it was the Phantom Thief who was to blame for that bomb. Truly, verily, indubitably the Phantom Thief. Most certainly. Huh?
The parlay minigame is now available. You unlock the parlay minigame. Entertain yourself as many a Manderville man has before you by opening the toy chest in any inn room. To the victor goes a priceless treasure. While the smile of a champion holds secrets untold. Are 8 legs better than 2? Can a Manderville man triumph over terrors and win the day? Hildibrand will return in the Colosseum Conundrum.
The key to the next case is also the key to the storeroom. Be sure not to lose it. Wait, it's a real key and a figurative one? At the same time? Is that even possible? Well, I guess we'll find out next time.